welcome back to the multiplayer survival game series, part 2. Today we're gonna add some functionality to our character, like a health bar, a hunger bar, a thirst bar, and some stats. So the first we're gonna do is go into our player component here, the one we created. So open up that a new variable. We call this health. We will change this to an integer, and we compile it and save. Another one called max health, like this. We're gonna create a new category for this and call this player stats. And we're changing max health to player stats, like this. Okay, so now we have a max health and a health. So the max health you're gonna put to, whatever you want the character to have max health of. So, and the health is gonna be the actual health the character has at the moment. So, I'm gonna go for 100 health. And we're gonna start with 100 health, like this. Okay, nice. So, we're actually gonna add the other two now to type in hunger, but this one is gonna be a float. Changing that, and we do a max hunger. Put it in player stats, both of them. So we have it organized. And then we take thirst. Put it in player stats and max thirst. And player stats. Like this. Now we have our variables we can use. And for my max hunger, I'm going to use 250 on both of these. You can actually have whatever you want. And I'm going to start 150, so they're not going to be maxed. Like this. Okay, so now we're gonna do a couple of events in here in the player component. So right click, type in custom and add a custom event. I'm gonna call this client because this is gonna be run on the client side. So we're gonna have some serve events, we're gonna have some client events, and the client events you only shoots on the actual player that owns this play component. So the rest of the server won't see this, and they don't need to see it. So client update health, and we're gonna add an input. We're gonna call it health, like this. We're gonna set it to an integer. I'm holding Alt, drag out health, and do it like this. You can actually also do just drag out health and press on get or health. But if you're holding Alt, you get set. If you're holding Control, you get a get. That could be good to know. We right click again, custom, client, update hunger. We're gonna add an input, change it to a float, call it hunger, like this. Hold in Alt, like this. And the last one, client update thirst. New input, and we call this thirst, like this. When I do this, I actually always drag around Tato2, press C for comment box, client update health, client update hunger, press C again, and client update first. it's easier when we have like 100 of these events to have a comment box around everything. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, we're gonna do another event here. Add custom event, and we're gonna take client take damage. Like this. We're gonna add an input. We're gonna change it to integer and set it to damage. So this event here will fire every time we take damage. So client take damage. We take holding control and drag out health. Take the damage minus integer minus integer. Health minus damage. And then we're gonna set the health to that. So let's say we have 100 health, like here. We take 20 damage, take 100 minus 20. It's gonna equal to 80, so set the health to 80. We're probably gonna use more stuff in here later because we're gonna add hitboxes on the character. We're gonna add bleed effect. We're gonna add that different stuff. So I'm gonna take all of these, right click and collapse nodes like this. And I'm gonna call it take damage. I'm gonna press on this arrow over here so we change position. Looks nicer. Open that up and you see we have this stuff here. Compile it, go back to event graph, we see it here. Pressing C, client take damage, like this. Nice. Perfect. Okay, compile and save. Now the play component is done for now. We're gonna go back to our content folder, go into our HUD, right click, make a new one. Widget blueprint underscore stat bar. I'm doing this because I think it's easier to add more different stats. If you want like protein, fat, vitamins, carbs, minerals and stuff like that, and have more stats bar or experience stat bar or something like that, it's easier to have one stat bar that's set up, and then you can just click on the stat bar and choose whatever stat you want to show on it. I will show it how it works. You can actually just drag into the player HUD a different stat bar and set it up, but I like to do this. It's more simple. It's a little bit more work in start, but it's simple to work with it later. So we do one stat bar here. We go back to the content folder, into the blueprint folder, right click. We make a new folder called structures. Right click again, new folders, call it enumerations, like this. Open up enumerations, right click, blueprints, enumeration, e_stat type, like this. Open it up. I'm just gonna add 3. One called health, one called hunger, and one called thirst. Save it. We can close that now. Go back into our HUD folder and open up the stats bar, like this. So now we're gonna go back to go into the graph over here on the top right. And new variable, call it stat type, And now we're gonna find that enumeration we did. So I'm typing stat type. We see we have stat type. There. Compile it. Now we can press here. So we get a small little I here. When we do that and go back to the designer, no, sorry. Yeah, we should go back here. Pressing up here on the stats bar. We should see, yeah, here in the default. So we can set whatever stat bar it is. You see, yeah. So that's more, that's very simple and very easy. Because now we can set, if it's health, we're gonna have a red bar. If it's hunger, we're gonna have an orange brown bar. And if it's thirst, we're gonna have a blue bar. So if you have like 5, 6, 7 different bars, it's easy to change like this. But anyways, now we're gonna press up here on fill screen to custom. And I'm gonna set mine to like 400 maybe? No, that's too little. 500. And lower this one down to 50, I guess. Yeah, we can try this. So, what we want now is a progress bar, like this. I'm gonna anchor it to the whole thing. I'm gonna set this offset here to 0 and 0. Now we have a progress bar here. And you see, if I fill this up here, it's gonna be like a stats bar. Like this, yeah. You can choose if you want to fill it from left to right, right to left, like this, if you want to have it different, but the most common is from left to right, like this. You can set the color here, if you want it to be red or something, but we're gonna do that in the graph later, so yeah. Save. I want to have like a text in the middle here that you can actually see a number. If I have 85 health, I want to see 85 health here. So I'm gonna add a text. Oh no, we can't do that. We're gonna right click on the progress bar and take wrap with an overlay. The overlay is gonna be anchored to all. No, here, like this. Sorry, progress bar. And press the fill alignment here. Take the text here, set it in the middle, and I like 85 like a standard variable here. I'm gonna decrease this size a bit to maybe 16. Yeah, could be nice. And I'm actually gonna add an image to our overlay. And I'm gonna have it in the vertical alignment center. And I'm gonna have it far to the left, like here. But I'm gonna add some padding on it on the left side. Let's see, 10, yes. And this image here is gonna change to whatever the stats is. If it's hunger, thirst, or health, it's gonna have a different icon here. Okay, nice. So far, so good. We have to click in this is variable up here on the right top on the text block. Otherwise we can't see it in the graph and change it. And the image is already a variable. Nice. Okay. So the thing we're going to do now is we take we're going to start with the text block here. On the text here, bind, create binding, like this. I'm actually going to save this, go back to the event graph, like this. From event construct, we're going to right click here and get owner, get owning player, pawn, we're going to get owning play pawn, drag out for return value, cast to master character. Oops, don't know what I did there. Get owning play pawn. drag this one up here and into this. Here as master character we can get player component, our component, like this. Now we have to do one thing. We have to, oh no, sorry. No, I'm sorry. We have to do like this. Drag out here, promote a variable, player component. And we set it like this. So now we have a reference of the player component. So we don't have to cast to the master character and get this all the time. So now we can just use the variable over here on the left side and just drag that out. Compile and save. Go back to the text here. Drag that out. Get health. Okay. But now we have to decide, is this a health stat bar, the one we're working with, or is it a thirst or something? We don't know that yet. So we drag out the stat type enumeration here, holding control, like I said, drag this out, switch. We're making a switch. So in here, and if it's health, we just do like this. I'm gonna drag this up a bit. If I double click on this one, I make a new reroute node. We can do it more nicer. I'm gonna copy the return node and paste out 2 more. And like this. But if it's hunger, we're gonna take the player component, get hunger, and drag it out like this. And same goes for the first. Get thirst. So compile and save. So whatever we choose in the designer here, when we drag it out, if we choose hunger, we're gonna set that type to hunger, and then it's gonna execute on hunger and get the hunger, that number, and display it here, the text. So we're gonna do the same on the image and the progress bar. So here, create binding on the %, like this. Oops, sorry. Stat type, drag it out. Make a switch. If it's health, drag it up there, copy and paste and paste. If it's hunger here, and it's thirst here. Drag out the player component, get health. Here is a bit different because here we have to have it in percent from 1 to 100. So if you have like the max health is set to 500, it will not display right. So we have to drag it out and get max health like this. And if I remember correctly now, you should do, oh, sorry, integer divided by integer. Like this. Okay, so play component, get hunger, oops, sorry, get max hunger, float divided by float, there you go, and the same for get thirst and get max thirst. Here, divided float by float, and like this. Save and compile. We go back to the designer. We take the image here, brush, create binding, and take stat type, switch, like this. If it's hunger, it's there. No, sorry, health up there, hunger there, and thirst here. In this part, we don't have actually any good images for it, so that will be the next part. So I'm just going to leave it like this, and we can go back to it later. Okay, nice. The last thing we have to do is the color and opacity. We're going to change the color so we know what stat type it is. So we're going to bind these two here. We do the same. Switch, like, oops, like this. Drag it up, copy and paste, like this. So if it's health, we're gonna make a nice red color. Maybe like this. If it's hunger, more like an orange one. Like this, and a blue one for first. Maybe like this. Okay, nice. So I think the stats bar is done. Save again, go back. We're gonna add it to the playerHUD now. So this is the playerHUD. This is gonna have like all the crosshair, the stats bar, and everything we want to see on the screen. Like the ammo and stuff like that, and the quick slots down here. So now we're gonna add a stats bar. Drag one in. I'm gonna have it in my lower left corner, like this. I'm gonna increase it to the size I want. Put one there. Anchor it in the lower left, there. You could, if you want to, have them exact same. Take this here, copy, and paste. Copy, and paste. And you can take the position too, actually, and do the exact. I'm just going to do this pretty quick, just so, and you can have it better made if you want to later. Like this. So, no, one more down. Oh, you see it's not perfect, but yeah. You can do that much better if you want to. But now, the bottom one is gonna be thirst, the middle is gonna be hunger, and the top one is gonna be health. Compile and save. So, that's perfect. Now we have to go back to the player component again. On event begin play, we're gonna create widgets, because now we have the widget set up with our stats bar, but we can't see them, so we have to add them to our viewport so we can see it. So widget blueprint underscore playerHUD here. I'm gonna do this, promote it to a variable, because we're gonna need it later. So playerHUD, like this. We're gonna put it in no edit. After here, I'm drawing out, add to viewport. Compile and save. Now, if we go back to our game map here, we should be able to play and see our health, hunger and thirst, like the variables I set. So 100 health now, 150 hunger, and 150 thirst. So that's working. That's nice. But now we're gonna try test something. So we're gonna make in the blueprint folder here. No, sorry, in the content folder, we're gonna right click, new folder, call it others. And in the other, we open it up, right click, blueprint class, and actor, damage zone. We just call it damage zone. Open it up. On the left top here, add a component. We're gonna scroll down to box collision. Like this. Highlight it, scroll down till you see on component begin overlap. Go into the event graph in here, and on begin overlap, from other actor, cast to master character. Here, from master character, get player component, and here, client take damage. And I'm gonna set mine to 10 damage. When I'm overlapping this box here, my character should take 10 damage. So we'll go back to game map. We drag this one out. Maybe drag it up a bit. You see, there's a box there now. So if I'm going into that one, I should take 10 damage. One more thing you can do in the damage box. If you click here, you can uncheck this hidden in game, so we can actually see it and find it. Okay, so try it, play. If I run in here, you see I took 10 damage. I have 90 health, left, but the color disappeared. Yeah, you see the text is working every time we're in there. Not sure why the color was removed from it. Okay, so I had to look into that a bit more. So the problem was, for some reason, you have to convert this to a float before you divide it on the health. The other one should be fine. We will see that in a moment. So the thing I did was, you probably have it like this. Yeah. So I took this one and copy it and paste it. Remove that one. Drag them into here. Remove that one. Actually, I'm pressing Alt and left click to remove. If you don't know that, drag out, float divided by float in here and in here. Compile, save, go back to the play, and you see now it's removing 10 of my health every time. So now it's working. Great. I think that's it for this part actually. We have the stats bar set up. We have the damage zone, so it's actually working. The playerHUD stats bar set up, play component with this here. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this video here, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys.